A very good morning to all of you. I am Swati Prakash and I am working in BBD University as a senior assistant professor in the School of Pharmacy. This is the presentation on microencapsulation. Microencapsulation is a process by which very tiny droplets or particles of liquid or solid materials are surrounded or coated with a continuous film of polymeric material. Microencapsulation may be defined as a process of surrounding or enveloping one substance within another substance on a very small scale, yielding capsules ranging from less than 1 micron to several hundred microns in size. It is a mean of applying thin coating to small particles of solid or droplets of liquid and dispersion. Microencapsulation is a process by which solids, liquids, or even gases may be enclosed in microscopic particles by formulation of thin coating of wall material around the substances. So this is the introduction part of microencapsulations. There is a reason for microencapsulation. To protect reactive substances from the environment, to convert liquid active components into a dry solid system, to separate incompatible components for functional reasons, to protect the immediate environment of the microencapsules from the active components, isolation of core from its surroundings, as in isolating vitamin from the deteriorating effects of oxygen, retarding evaporation of a volatile core, and improving the handling properties of a sticky material, isolating a reactive core from chemical attack, and for safe handling of the toxic materials, to get targeted release of drug, to control release of active components for delayed release or long-acting release. The problem may be as simple as making the taste or odor of the core, to increase of viability, to produce a targeted drug delivery, protects the GIT from irritant effect of the drug, and extension of duration of activity for an equal level of active agents. Next, a well-designed controlled drug delivery system can overcome some of the problem of conventional therapy and enhance the therapeutic efficacy of a given drug. Microencapsulation techniques, there are 11 methods that help to formulate or to prepare the microencapsulations. The first one is air suspension technique. Advantages of microencapsulation. Advantages like masking of bitter taste, example of fluoxetine, and conversion of liquids to pseudo solid, example iprazone, and environmental protection, reduction of hygroscopicity, and reduction of vaporization of volatile drugs, and prevention of incompatibilities among maliates. And the disadvantages of microencapsulations: possible cross reactions between core and shell material, and difficult to achieve continuous and uniform film. Shelf life of a hygroscopic drug is reduced, and shelf life of hygroscopic is reduced. More production cost and more skill and knowledge is required. First method is the air suspension, or it is also known as the Wurster method. So air suspension method, in this First, we discuss about the fundamental consideration or formulation consideration. So, generally, microparticles consist of two components. First is core material, and the second one is the coat or wall or shell material. Core material, the solid core can be a mixture of active constituents, stabilizers, diluents, excipients, and release rate retardants or accelerators. And the coat or wall or shell material, compatible, non-reactive with core material, provide desired coating properties like strength, flexibility, impermeability, optical properties, non-hygroscopicity, tasteless and stable. So core material, the material to be coated, it may be liquid or solid or gas. Liquid core may be dissolved or dispersed material. Composition of core material like a drug or active constituent, additive like diluents and stabilizers. Coating material, inert substance which coat on core with desired thickness. Composition of coating like inert polymer, plasticizer, coloring agent, resin, waxes, lipids and release rate enhancers or retardants. So the first technique is the air suspension, or it is also known as raster method. Basically, the raster process consists of the dispersing of solid particulate core material in a supporting air stream and spray coating of the air suspended particles. Equipment ranging in capacities from 1 pound to 990 pounds. Micron or submicron particles can be effectively encapsulated by air suspension technique. It consists of a dispersing solid particulate core material in supporting air stream and being coated with coating material. In this, the fine core materials are suspended in a vertical current of air and sprayed with a coating material. After evaporation of solvent, a layer of encapsulating material is deposited on core, given improved control and flexibility as compared to pan coating. During each pass through the coating zone, the core material receives an increment of coating material. The cyclic process is repeated perhaps several hundred times during processing, depending on the purpose of microencapsulation, the coating thickness desired, or whether the core material particles are thoroughly encapsulated. The supporting air stream also serves to dry the product while it is being encapsulated. Drying rates are directly related to the volume temperature of the supporting air stream. Next is the pan coating. Pan coating, the particles are tumbled. Oldest industrial procedure for forming small coated particles or tablets. The particles are tumbled in a pan or other devices while the coating material is applied slowly, and solid particles greater than 600 micron in size are generally considered essential for effective coating. Medicaments are usually coated onto various spherical substrates such as non-peril sugar seeds and then coated with protective layers of various polymers. It is used for preparation of controlled release beads. Coating is applied as solution by atomized spray to desired solid core material in coating pan. Usually warm air is passed over the coated material as the coating are being applied in the coating pan. Solid particles are mixed with a dry coating material. The temperature is raised so that the coating material melts and encloses the core particles and then is solidified by cooling. The coating material can be gradually applied to core particles tumbling in a vessel rather than being wholly mixed with the core particles from the start of encapsulation. The particles are tumbled in a pan or other device while the coating material is applied slowly. The coating is applied as a solution or as an atomized spray to the desired solid core material in the coating pan. Usually to remove the coating solvent, warm air is passed over the coating material as the coating are being applied in the coating pans. Formulation of three immiscible phase, deposition of coating and residization of coating. The conservation process. The conservation microencapsulation is the phase separation of one or many hydrocolloids from the initial solution and the subsequent deposition of the newly formed conservate phase around the active ingredient suspended or emulsified in the same reaction media. Conservation is a unique microencapsulation technology because of the very high payloads achievable up to 99% and the controlled release possibilities based on mechanical stress, temperature or sustained release. Conservation is typically used to encapsulate flavor oil and can also be adopted for the encapsulation of fish oil, nutrients, vitamins, preservatives and enzymes. There are two methods for conservation are available, namely simple and complex processes. In simple conservation, a desolvation agent is added for phase separation, whereas complex conservation involves complexation between two oppositively charged polymers. The general process consists of three steps under continuous agitation. First is formation of three immiscible chemical phase, second one is deposition of coating, and the third one is residization of coating. Next is multi-orifice centrifugation process. In this, it utilizes centrifugal forces to hurl a core material particles through an enveloping microencapsulation membrane, and the advantages encapsulate both solid and liquid materials, and production rate is more. Spray drying and spray congling. Spray drying is the most commonly used encapsulation method in the food industry, and the process is economical and flexible, uses equipment that is readily available and produces particles of good quality. Dispensing the core material in a liquefied containing substance, spraying or introducing the coating mixture onto core material. Coating solidification in spray drying is affected by rapid evaporation of a solvent in which the coating material is dissolved. The process involves three basic steps. The first one is preparation of a dispersion or emulsion to be processed, homogenization of the dispersion, and atomization of the mass into the drying chamber. Spray dried ingredients typically have a very small particle size which makes them highly soluble. Typically, shell material include gum acacia, maltodextrins, modified starch and mixtures, other polysaccharides like alginate, carboxymethyl cellulose and guar gum. Proteins like whey protein, soya protein, sodium caseinate can be used as the wall material in spray drying, and spray congling can be accomplished with spray drying equipment when the protective coating is applied as a melt. core material is dispersed in a coating material melt rather than a coating solution. Coating solidification is accomplished by spraying the hot mixture into a cool air stream. Solvent evaporation. In this, in the case in which the core material is dispersed in a polymer solution, polymer shrinks around the core. In the case in which core material is dissolved in the coating polymer solution, a matrix type microcapsule is formed. The core material may be either water soluble or water insoluble material. A variety of film forming polymers can be used as coating. Step 1, formation of a solution or dispersion of a drug into an organic polymer phase. Step 2, emulsification of the polymer phase into an aqueous phase containing a suitable stabilizer, thus forming a oil in water emulsion. And step 3, the removal of organic solvent from the dispersed phase by extraction or evaporation, leading to polymer precipitation and formation of the microspheres. Next one is the polymerization. It is of two types, like interfacial polymerization and in situ polymerization. The method involved the reaction of monomeric unit located at the interface existing between a core material substance and continuous phase in which the core material is dispersed. The core material supporting phase is usually a liquid or gas, and therefore polymerization reaction occur at liquid gas, solid gas interface. In the formation of polyamide nylon polymeric reaction occurring at liquid interface existing between aliphatic diamine and dicarboxylic acid halide. The particle size of resulting microspheres depends on the polymerization condition, including the monomer composition, the amount of initiator, and the total monomer concentration. Polymerization, the first one is interfacial polymerization. In interfacial polymerization, the two reactants in a polycondensation meet at an interface and react rapidly. In situ polymerization, in a few microencapsulation process, the direct polymerization of a single monomer is carried out on the particle surface. Cellulose fibers are encapsulated in polyethylene while immersed in a dry toluene. This is the example of in situ polymerization. So this is all about the microencapsulation and the different approaches or different kinds of microencapsulation process and different techniques of microencapsulation. So have a nice day and thank you.